Hello, and welcome to It's a Fandom Thing. I'm your host, Erin Marlowe, and each week I'm joined by a panel of guests to discuss all things fandom and pop culture, primarily from a female perspective. You'll find everything from fanfic, to cosplay, to Schitt's Creek, to Supernatural, and everything in between. So put on your favorite piece of fandom merch, set aside that fanfic that you're writing about your OTP, and sit back and enjoy this week's episode. Hello, and welcome to It's a Fandom Thing. I'm your host, Erin Marlowe, and it is time to turn things over to my birthday month, which is in November. November is my birthday month, and we are kicking things off with a look at the Ryan Gosling. We keep saying the Ryan Gosling because, I don't know, it sounds like something that Ryan Gosling would laugh at as part of the reason I keep saying it, to be honest. But I'm excited to kick off my birthday month talking about an actor that I have loved for decades now. And, there was a while there where, with the exception of my panelist and a couple other people, almost everybody that was in our podcast roster was Ryan Gosling. And I'm like, why do people react that way? And then Barbie happened, and all those people suddenly became Ryan Gosling fans.
It's thanks for jumping on the bandwagon. We've been here. We're not new to this. We're true to this.
Exactly. We have been Ryan Gosling fans for a long time. I'll find out what made my panelist a Ryan Gosling fan. But let me introduce them, and we will get to that soon here. So, Tiff. Hello, Tiff.
Hi. Hey, hello. The Ryan Thomas Gosling. What can I say? I'm so happy to be here. I'm just so jazzed to be here talking about this to kick off birthday month. Huzzah!
Yes, I'm very excited to have you here. I knew when I decided to do this that you were a must to be on here because, once again, there's something about Tiff and I where I'm not saying Ryan Gosling was popular. It's not like Ryan Gosling wasn't popular before Barbie, but I think The Notebook is what kind of made him popular in some of the, populace, which wouldn't even make my top 10 Ryan Gosling stuff. So
Right.
I think there's this thing with Tiff and I where there are certain things that either in our group of people or in the world that we are the fans of that other people either haven't discovered yet or aren't as big of fans yet of or something like that. We're always ahead of the curve.
We are. I mean, our taste is impeccable. I don't say that, I say that humbly. Our wisdom is infallible, and I don't understand why people don't take our advice about these things because, it's hello, we know what we're talking about, people. We know what we're talking about. So you need to listen.
Exactly. Exactly. We know. But before we get into talking about some of the reasons why we love Ryan Gosling, I'm going to give just a little bit of a mini biography that this is coming from IMDb. So the reason Tiff said Thomas is that is Ryan's middle name. Ryan was born Ryan Thomas Gosling on November 2nd, 1980. So he is a Scorpio.
Hey now.
And he was born, if you didn't know, he's a Canadian. He was born in London, Ontario, Canada. I don't know why I wanted to say Canada.
You said that very with an upper crust British accent. Canada.
Maybe that's what I was going for. I don't know. And he is the son of Donna, a secretary, and Thomas, that must be where that middle name came from, a traveling salesman. Ryan first performed as a singer at talent contests with Mandy. I don't know do you know what that
is? That maybe it's a Canadian little group or something like that. Yeah. Mandy? I was like, Mandy Moore? No, that's not correct.
No, Mandy, Mandi, which I guess I should have researched that, but I didn't.
That's his sister.
Because you know what? The sister's name was up above, and I went, we're skipping over that part.
Yes, Mandy Gosling. Okay, so she's it's just the two of them.
Sister. Yeah,
she's older. Yeah.
So he attended an open audition for Montreal for the TV series The Mickey Mouse Club, or the all-new Mickey Mouse Club 1989 in January 1993 and beat out 17,000 That's a lot of flipping people.
That's a lot of
Other
kids.
aspiring actors for a spot on the show. While appearing on the Mickey Mouse Club for 2 years, we won't judge him for this. He was a young kid. He lived with co-star Justin Timberlake's family. We will not judge him. He was a kid. We are not fans of Justin Timberlake on this podcast, but we will not judge the Ryan Gosling.
Hey, back then, I think everything was probably like, oh, we're on the same show together. My family lives way up in Canada. Hey, can he stay during the season with you all? So we don't judge. We listen and we don't judge.
Exactly. He received no formal acting training after the Mickey Mouse Club, but he did segue his way into an acting career appearing on the TV series Young Hercules, which is streaming. I just didn't get a chance to watch it. Did you get a chance to watch it?
I didn't. I was like, look, I'll dig in the crates for the early movies, but I can't do this. Eventually I will get to it eventually.
I know.
But I was like, I can't do this. I'm not going to do this.
I know, that's the way I kind of felt, is I'm not going to waste my time with that. And Breaker High, as well as the films The Slaughter Rule, Murder by Numbers, and Remember the Titans. He first attracted serious critical attention with his performance as the Jewish neo-Nazi in the controversial film The Believer. So if you do ever watch that film, heavy trigger warnings for Nazis. I mean, just
Nazis everywhere. Neo-Nazis everywhere.
Yes,
it's a lot.
It's a heavy movie.
It is.
And it's really hard to watch. And, it's based on a true story. And it's just really, it's really, talk about self-hatred too. I mean,
just one of those that you can literally watch like once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Unless you're doing research for something else. I've seen that movie one time and I'm like, you know what? I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't need to watch this anymore. It's similar to the Edward Norton movie, American
History X.
Yes. Yeah. It's similar to that. Mm-hmm. Fabulous movie. But no. One and done. Absolutely. One and done.
Yeah. Because it is really well done and he's really fantastic in it. It's just, it is one of those where it's like, it's so real and it's real because there are lots of people like this in the world right now, of course, too. I mean, duh. And so it makes it really, really hard to watch. And it's so like, it doesn't flinch away from anything. And it's really like, it's a hard one to watch.
Very much.
After appearing in The Sleeper, why do people call the Notebook The Sleeper? That wasn't really necessarily a sleeper.
I think when it came out, it was probably like kind of under people's radar because I don't remember them promoting it as like, it's definitely not a rom-com. And it didn't seem like a rom-dram, really. I don't remember how they promoted it, how they marketed that. But it didn't feel like, oh, this is a romance, like that sort of thing. I was never interested in The Notebook, like, to be honest. Oh, sorry, Ryan.
See, I remember though that time it was like people like that are real, that ship people in real life, the Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling fandom, and it still exists, I think, was like just wild. And when they won Best Kiss at the MTV Movie Awards, they won Best Kiss and they recreated a kiss from the movie.
That.
And that was like one of the biggest moments during that time.
Yes.
It was like, yeah.
And it's so funny because it's like, they're both married, like with children. now they're both married to other people. So it's like, people, come on, get over it.
But they weren't at that time.
At the time, no. They did date.
Actually date. Well, when they made the movie, they hated each other.
Yes.
Hated each other.
Yeah.
And then they ended up dating and that didn't, of course, obviously work out.
Like, how do you all hate each other? You're both Canadians. You're supposed to be really nice and polite.
But if you want to hear us pretty much trash that movie, we did cover it last year. I admit on that one, when it first came out, I actually really did like that movie, but we kind of trash it when we talked about it last year. Gosling reached a summit of his profession with his performance in Half Nelson, which garnered him an Academy Award nomination as Best Actor. He is a drug addict, so trigger warnings for that. In a short time, he has established himself as one of the finest actors of his generation. Throughout the subsequent decade, he has become all three of an internet fixation, a box office star and a critical darling, having headlined Blue Valentine, Crazy Stupid Love, Drive, The Ides of March, The Place Beyond the Pines, The Nice Guys, and La La Land. Ryan has 2 children with his partner, actress Eva Mendes, who he met on the set of The Place Beyond the Pines. If you don't know, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but that's where they met.
And they did, they finally, I know they've been together for a while, but they finally got married in 2022. That's what at least that's what it says. I mean, we don't know. Maybe they had some type of non-binding ceremony way back, but according to this, they got the paper in 2022.
Yeah. Well, and IMDb, it says question. It doesn't even list the date. It just says question.
Question mark?
Yeah. Well, I know he's very private about his private life, which which he should be, and he's allowed to be. And I know he got some criticisms when he won something, I believe it was for La La Land, and he didn't name his wife and children. He didn't actually say by name. And I think a lot of that was just to be private. It wasn't at all like he forgot their names, but then people were saying, well, he forgot that. I'm like, no, he's just a very private person, and he's not going to be parading his kids out there, and he's not going to be, that's his private life, and he's entitled to that. His kids didn't sign up for this. So
absolutely.
They're his kids. And I'm sure growing up a child star, starting in the Mickey Mouse Club, that probably makes you a little bit more wary about what your kids are going to be exposed to.
Yes. And that makes sense. That makes sense. Somebody who, I lived in that kind of spotlight, especially, even from a younger age. He really started, his film career as a youngster. We're talking about probably 20, 21. So even that, you're like, should me personally, I think even if I was a child star or something like that, I wouldn't mind throwing my kid's name out there, because as long as you're not parading them out in front of the paparazzi and all that kind of stuff, I think you're good. But
yeah,
of course, like you said, he's definitely entitled to his feelings about that. And Eva Mendes is very private.
Yes,
she's left the spotlight left the scene. She doesn't even act anymore, right? So I haven't.
No, she does other stuff though, because I've seen on her Instagram before. She does other I think there's some kind of company that she I don't know if it's fashion or I swear I'll look it up while we're talking. But she has kind of withdrawn and kind of
yeah, I think she's focused on the the mom thing, which is
cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of what happened to Who Married Kevin Kline. The actress who married Kevin Kline. What the heck is her name? She was big in the 80s, but that's kind of what she did. She left acting to raise their kids and stuff. So yeah, picture book and stuff. So she does have a picture book for kids, and
so she's doing the author thing. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Well, what I first want to know, Tiff, and I don't know the answer to this, is what film role turned you into a Ryan Gosling fan?
Okay, so before we start this, Kevin Kline and Phoebe Cates.
Thank you.
Are married, and they've been married They've been married since '89.
Yes.
So good on you, Kevin Kline and Phoebe Cates. That's awesome. They've been married for over 35 years. So fantastic.
Yeah, and he's always encouraging her to get back into acting, I want to say. So, but yes. Thank you. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so my first, I think, I can't even remember the first time that I can really pinpoint noticing him, because I feel like he's one of those actors who is, and I admire this about him greatly, he is a chameleon. His ability to transform himself, and even if it's not truly physical, because a lot of his roles really just require him to be his very good looking self, and that's fine, and there's nothing wrong with that. He steps inside a character and he becomes that character, which I think is really hard for a lot of actors to really embody the material. He's willing to make himself vulnerable, and he's also incredibly solicitous of his scene partners. Whomever he's working with, he elevates them. It's almost like he's shining a spotlight on them, because he knows the more they look good and the more effective they are in a scene, the better he looks. And we've seen that the opposite way. When somebody dials it in, looking at you, barf spittoon in Interview with a Vampire, we've talked about this previously, when he phoned it in, completely dialed, was like, whatever, I don't care. I don't want to be here. This is just a paycheck to me. And it's like, all you did was make yourself look really, really stupid. See, he's never done that. Ryan Gosling is just like, no, I'm going to give 1,000,000,000% in whatever I do. And I'm going to make sure that they look good, so I look good. It's like, I equate it to a wedding where if you've been to a wedding and you've seen a bride who has her bridesmaids in absolutely hideous dresses, right? We've all seen that before. You think those pictures look good? No, they don't look good. They look horrible. You put your people in something good, in something nice looking to make yourself and everything else look good. And I feel like he's always willing to put his bridesmaids, to put his groomsmen, to put his wedding party in really, really fabulous clothing. And it just shines on the screen. It doesn't, hey, and we've seen stuff where the script is not great and it just doesn't work. Something just doesn't work. And I'll mention a movie that I watched where I swear I lost at least 8.2% of my brain power. I think I'd say 92% of the time it does work for him. So just his ability to be that chameleon, to be vulnerable, to make himself look like a buffoon at times with his physical comedy. I just love that about him. He's just not afraid to go like full throttle. And I love that about him because we've seen actors who are unwilling to do that. So
yeah,
good on you, the Ryan Gosling.
Well, for me, it was actually Murder by Numbers. That's why when you had mentioned in the Discord, when you were talking about baby Ryan Gosling in that movie, which he is very, very young in that movie.
Very young.
And that was the first one I remember taking notice of him. I think I had watched Remember the Titans before that, but that I didn't really, it's not really that memorable in that. But that was the first one where I took notice of him, where what he shows in that, and he's done this in roles since, is he can use this sort of charm that he has, this natural charm that he has, and use it as a way to disarm someone and to make you like his character for about a brief second, or be attracted to his character for a brief second. And then he turns that and turns into, because he's not a good person in that movie, and spoilers, and he turns in and turn into a horrible person.
Yes,
and he does that really well in that movie. And that's when I first took notice of him. It still weirds me out. This is a totally personal thing, but it still kind of weirds me out. I know he was an adult. They were both adults. That him and Sandra Bullock dated briefly after that movie. And for some reason, it just really, I'm not trying. Look, I think some age differences work fine, and it's, and everything. But for some reason, I think it's because he looks so dang young.
And she looks, she looks young, but she looks like a grown woman in that movie, because she is. And he's very young and looks like a teenager in that movie. He looks like he's playing a 16 or 17-year-old.
Yeah.
And he was probably 22 at the time, 21 or 22.
Like that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it is, that age difference is, because she's got to be at least 12 years older, I think.
Something,
10 or 12 years, something like that.
I think if he had been 30 and she was, that would not be weird to me.
Right. No. I completely agree, because the difference in, there's that scene in that movie where he's kind of trigger warning, he attempts to kiss her. And, she is like, no. And just the difference, the visceral difference in how they look during that it's jarring. It is. And it's jarring. Yeah. His performance in that is wild.
Yeah. It's really,
it's really wild. Yeah. And at the time, Michael Pitt, his, the other boy who, Murder by Numbers, obviously they have a pact to murder somebody. Spoiler for this however old movie. Michael Pitt was really, really well established as like that creepy, like older adolescent kind of actor
Weird
because
kid.
he was on a lot of episodes of Law and Order, like playing that creepy guy. So good on you, Ryan, for like holding your own against him as a creep.
Well, and Michael Pitt was also in Dawson's Creek. He played this character that was supposed to be this love interest and really sweet. It's part of partly the writing, not just him, but and for Jen, for the character Jen. And he's
Mm,
so creepy, but
yeah.
he's not supposed to be. But it's not because of the actor, I want to say. It's not just because of the actor, it's because the writing in it is like they have him do all this like stalking for love kind of crap. It's like falls
Ah,
into that. He
yeah.
was, though, in this really, really great movie that nobody ever talks about called The Dreamers. And he's not the creepy part of the movie. It's like a French movie, and it does trigger warning. There's some incestuous implications in this movie, but I don't know that I haven't watched this movie in decades, so I don't know if I still would love it, but I loved that movie. But yeah, he was also positioned to kind of be the next Leonardo DiCaprio because a lot of people compared the way he looked to Leonardo DiCaprio, and now he's gone. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, is it because he's blonde haired and blue eyed? Because he does not look like him to me.
I think in those times he did to a lot of people. But anyway, we're not
Anyway.
gonna anymore. But yeah, Murder by Numbers was the one. And Sandra Bullock was born in 1964, so that's a 16-year age difference.
Woo doggy.
I want to say, though, I'm not trying to attack because they were both adults. It just, I can't imagine being in my 30s and wanting to date a 20-year-old. So
Yeah.
that's just personally, Ryan Gosling has nothing but wonderful things to say about Sandra Bullock. So I'm not at all saying there's any kind of, they're both adults. So anyway.
We love Sandra Bullock. Sandra, we love you.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about what it is about Ryan Gosling as an actor that makes us fans. And then we are going to do the dreaded 3, the question that everybody hates. So 3 of our favorite performances. So we'll be right back.
From Adams Morgan to Anacostia Park, we all want safer neighborhoods. But what does real safety mean? Real safety means preventing crime before it happens. By having police work with communities to disrupt cycles of violence, by supporting families with stable housing, and providing more mental health and drug treatment. We know that adding more police and locking up more people doesn't make us safer. Real safety means investing in the things that help prevent crime. Learn more at realsafetydc.
Okay, so Tiff, you already talked about it a little bit, but what is it about Ryan Gosling as an actor that makes you such a fan of his?
He gives off an intensity that I think is endearing. And at times, I feel like really, really intense actors can be off-putting when you hear about, oh, they're so method, that sort of thing. And I'm like, okay, great. You're method. We get it. That sort of thing. I can think of one person in particular. Should I name it?
Go for it, unless you don't want everybody to know.
No, let's name him. So like, okay, Joaquin Phoenix, right? And I actually have only seen bits and pieces of the movie. I didn't watch the whole thing because I had no desire to. But like Joaquin Phoenix and Joker, that performance, at least what I've seen of it, I'm like, okay, you're Arthur Fleck, you're the Joker, we get it. But for some reason, his performance as Joker doesn't work for me as much as Heath Ledger. And I think in that instance, it aligns up with how Ryan Gosling approaches his intense characters, because he's played some very, very intense characters, intense movies that are incredibly dramatic, right? We know he does the comedic thing, even though people are kind of like, oh no, he's an indie darling, right? He's a critically acclaimed actor and everything. It's like, no, he's got a lot of comedic chops as well. But I like the fact that he can turn things on its head. And like you said, when you mentioned Murder by Numbers, he's so charming in that. Like, it's like, this kid, what is he doing? This little boy, he's so funny and everything like that. It's like, okay, no, he's actually like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and very sinister. And I think that he embraces every piece of a role, which is really, really hard to do, like super hard to do. As for his comedy part, I love him in comedic roles. I love, love, love him in comedic roles. I wish he would do more. I hope that he's getting offered more because I really think he loves to do it. And I think you can tell that he loves to do it. I mean, look at him in The Nice Guys. Look at, look at him in Fall Guy. That is so underrated funny. It is so, because he's got this little like amused look on his face, but he's so exasperated with the whole entire situation. And it's funny. If you all have not watched that movie, please go watch it because it's really funny.
It is. It's really good.
It's super funny. I love that movie. So just his whole vibe with allowing himself to look silly and come out on the other side. And it's like, that was a really great performance. Because sometimes actors are just, they do these silly movies just to be, I don't know if they do it just for a paycheck or if they just do it because they think that they can be funny. And it's not really the performance that it falls flat. I don't feel like that ever happens when he does something on the comedy side. I feel like he always nails it. Like he always nails it. Everything that he's done that's been comedy, I feel like it's just boom, bam. Even when he's doing like the snarky comedy, like and it's more like kind of a rom-dram type thing, but like Crazy Stupid Love.
I love him in that movie.
I love him in that movie. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna be really shallow, but my gosh, his abs in that movie.
Holy crap.
Holy crap. Like,
I know. I posted on Facebook because honestly, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I posted on Facebook when that happened. I'm like, when the movie came out, I just saw Crazy Stupid Love and I'm going on it. And then I said, and P.S. Ryan Gosling, I want to have your babies. Honestly, I think he's very attractive, but that's not the reason I love him.
Right.
So it was one of those moments where it was like, holy.
Yes. I was Emma Stone in that moment when she was like, "Are you serious? Like you look photoshopped."
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, come on, man. Is that actually, is that all you? Or just see some contouring going on?
Yeah.
I don't care. Yeah, I love him in those roles. I do. I think I might almost, the comedy side of him almost edges out, I think, the dramatic side, probably like 60-40, because he's had some incredible dramatic roles, just some absolutely incredible roles on that side of things. But I think the comedy side, I think it edges out. Let's go 60-40.
And, I had kind of fallen in love with him for, like, as an actor for, like, the roles that he would do in a lot of indie films, because I love independent films. I love indie films. And I loved, like, Half Nelson and Lars and the Real Girl and all of those. But even in, like, Lars and the Real Girl, you can see, like, because I was rewatching it in preparation for this, and I hadn't watched that movie in quite a few years. And you can even see bits of that comedic performance in there, even though it's a very tragic and sad story, actually. But he takes it so literal that it never feels false or weird, because that really could have come off as a very gross movie. But for me, it worked. But you can still see inklings of that comedic performer in there. And what I appreciate, though, is that the fact that he went to go do comedy performances or be in comedies, and he never once did this thing of like, I'm above commercial films. And that's a rarity, honestly. Usually it'd be the opposite. Like he'd be like, I'm going to do all these commercial films, and then I'm just going to do these really heavy work that will get me Oscar love. And I don't think he really gives a crap about that. And I want to say, I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting an Oscar. Who the hell wouldn't want an Oscar? There's nothing wrong with wanting an award. There's nothing wrong with campaigning for an award. I get so sick of people insulting actors when they're very blatantly, clearly want an award. why wouldn't they want an award? I think you can't be like, ugh.
I'm not going to study, because I don't really want this A in a class.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Are we like going bananas? That we think this way? Are we?
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
That literally doesn't make any sense. I feel like you would want to provide such a performance that people want to give you those accolades. And I know that's why you don't get into something. You probably get into it for the love of the craft, and because acting is really hard.
Yeah.
And I mean, come on, the odds of you actually making it, air quotes, as an actor are astronomically low.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you get in there, you're gonna give your all, and you're gonna, like, in your mind, you're like, heck yeah, I want you to recognize me for this, because I just like literally laid myself out on the altar. Yeah, come on, man.
But I do agree. I think if you are actually a good artist or a good actor, you don't get into this to be famous. You don't get into it to win awards. But I think with Ryan Gosling, he is not afraid also to look stupid, and he's not afraid to do dumb things. He's not afraid to not always look like an amazing person. He's not afraid to get ugly, is the way I would put it. And I appreciate that a lot about him. And I think he also, speaking a little bit too, I think you talked about this earlier, Tiff, is he is not a selfish actor. And he always seems to be there for his scene partner. And he's so like effortlessly charming, but not in a way that's annoying. He is just effortlessly charming, which I think helps put other people at ease and helps bring out better performances. And he's also good in just little tiny things, like his whole papyrus thing about Avatar, that whole skit for Saturday Night Live, is one of the funniest things in the world. It is so funny the way he delivers those, because it's such a play on some of those more serious roles.
Yes.
And how the papyrus, just how serious he gets about that, and the way he delivers that is amazing. And his performance, some people have said this is why they probably don't want to do live performances of this musical numbers anymore, but his performance of I'm Just Ken at the Oscars was one of the best musical performances ever.
So I don't know if people remember, when you talk about like him in these kind of a short kind of comedic bursts and things like that, he did an episode of Drunk History. Plays like Jacob Marley, like the Ghost of Christmas Past. It is one of the fun. I mean, please watch this. It is hilarity. And this was at the height of his, his dramatic powers, when he did he was knocking it out of the park between 2010 and 2012, like with these churning out these critically acclaimed films. And he did this Drunk History during that time. And you can just tell he's just having a blast. And if anybody has seen the way Drunk History, if you've never seen it, it's one of the funniest concepts, and the way they outline it. I mean, literally go watch Drunk History. I don't even know. It used to air on Comedy Central, and I don't know what it's playing on right now. I don't know where it's streaming. I'm sure it's streaming somewhere, but
yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
But it is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And it's about 6 minutes. If you want to just watch the skit of him, it's on YouTube, of course, and it's about 6 minutes. Hilarious, though. Absolutely hilarious. This was in 2011. Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. Yeah, it was in 2011. So funny, though. Absolutely so funny. Because he just, with this little sleep cap on, and it looks like a Santa hat. Oh my gosh, the nightgown. He's got on this long dressing gown. Hilarious. Oh my gosh, I love him. I love him so much.
Yeah. And that's you can watch that on Paramount Plus, which makes sense because they own Comedy Central now. And
yeah, that makes
all of
that.
that.
So,
yeah, so that's where you can watch it. Yeah, I just think he is just effortlessly good. He makes it look easy, which it's not. And he can play pretty much like anything, which you had said earlier, Tiff. He really has such a range. And there are some actors that are good actors, but they don't have that same range that he does. So it's amazing all the stuff he did. And yeah, I do also want a second, just because it was the first time I'd watched it, to go watch The Fall Guy, because that got lost in the shuffle. I don't think they knew how to market it correctly,
Yeah,
because it is an action film, but it's really at the heart, it's a love story. So I don't, they should have marketed it more as a rom-com, I think, than
definitely.
what they did market it as. But he's so good. He's so good in that, and
So funny.
sweet. And it's also nice to see a movie like focus on stunt people and stunt work. And, that's a hard thing.
Oh
And
my
finally
gosh.
it's starting to get more recognition.
Definitely.
But yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. I feel like that it kind of felt like a stronger version of, and I think we talked about this briefly, The Lost City with Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum,
Oh, yeah.
which I really liked. I thought it
did
was
too.
I thought it was adorable. I thought that they played off of each other so well. And I feel like the same thing with The Fall Guy. I just think the writing was a little bit stronger in The Fall Guy than it was in The Lost City. But I feel like those two kind of align. And The Lost City, I thought was more, I think they did market that one as more of a rom-com than they
Mhm.
did Fall Guy. So yeah, I wished the marketing team had gotten on the ball a little bit more with that, because I think it'd have been super successful had they done that. But it was really funny. It was really funny. I love that movie. So
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, totally. Okay, well, it's time for the dreaded 3. Tiff's just shaking her
I'm
head
just
at me.
yes, I'm shaking my head. I am. I am
I
shaking my
know,
head, Erin.
I know, but it has to be done.
Yes, yes, yes. It has to be done. It has to be done. For some reason, you like to torture us with this, but it's fine.
I do. So what are your 3 of your favorites then?
Okay. I'm not going to do this in like any particular or, well, you know what? No, I actually will go. Now that I think about it, I'll go chronological. I'll do
Okay.
it chronologically. So first up, Lars and the Real Girl. I feel like he is so adorably vulnerable in that. And it could have been because Lars is clearly, he's a special guy. He's definitely on the spectrum, and the loneliness that he allows himself to roll off of him, even though he does have people in his life, but he's so lonely. And the fact that he attaches to this inanimate object is so, it could be, like you said, it could be off putting, and it could be something that makes you so uncomfortable. And in a way, it does, because you're
Mhm.
like, okay, dude, it's a doll. It, it's a doll. It's a sex doll. And y- when you think about that in a context of other people utilizing that for that, it's kind of like, look, we listen and we don't judge. We listen and we don't judge. But in the back of your mind, you're actually judging. But I think in this case, though, it's so, he's using it as a crutch, and you just want him to get better. You're rooting for him so much, and he plays this so well. He does it so, it's effortless almost. And I know he puts in the work. I know he does. He puts in the work, and he takes immense pride in his craft because it comes through in his performance. And I just think that performance, it touches me. Like every time I watch it, it touches me, and it just makes me sad, and it makes me happy, and it makes me just root for Lars. And I think that is 1,000,000% because of Ryan's performance in that. That's my first one, going chronologically. My second one is, as we discussed in the Discord, the best script that you've ever read, Blue Valentine.
Yeah.
That movie is devastating. It is devastating. It's heavy, and it's oppressive, and he and Michelle Williams are stripped bare. They flay themselves alive in that movie. They do. They flay themselves alive. And it is visceral. The pain that is coming off in waves, in waves. It's like, I'm in pain. I'm not in this relationship and I'm in pain and I'm watching this and we're absorbing this. And the writing is so crisp and sharp. Every single solitary word that they throw at each other is meant to hurt. And the way that they back and forth, it's like knives being thrown at each other. And he still has this tenderness toward her in that movie every single time. That one, and you had posted that GIF in the Discord where he's like, let's be a family. Let's be a family. And the way he's holding her in that, like he's sheltering her from the storm, but the storm is also what they're doing to one another. It's, man, that performance is just top notch. It is top notch. 10s across the board, no notes. And I really struggled with this third one. Like I super, super struggled because I was like, okay, look, should I go dramatic? Should I go with another dramatic role? Because I was stuck between two that actually came out like back to back almost. I was stuck between, I'll just say I was stuck between Drive and I was stuck between The Place Beyond the Pines. But I said, you know what? We're going to honor Ryan's ability to look like an absolute silly billy goo goo. And we're going with his performance as Just Ken from Barbie. Commitment to the bit is so locked in. He's so focused on it. But at the end, when he realizes that Barbie has recognized who she needs to be in order to obtain growth, and he's like, you can see almost a light bulb in his mind. But he is so willing to be, he was like, if I can't beach, who am I?
Yeah.
Who is Ken? And he's just so willing to be so silly, and the bleach blonde platinum hair. I'm like, he really went for it with that. He really did. Abs.
That's true. The abs again.
We're going to be shallow. We're going to be shallow for just a minute. Yeah, we're going to be shallow. But he's like leaning into his Mickey Mouse Club roots with the singing and the dancing and everything like that. He's having a blast. He's having a blast. But there are moments of where you can tell he knows that the spotlight is on Margot Robbie and he is willing to give it to her. He is just willing to let it shine, to let it flow. I love that. I do. I love that. I love that movie so much. I do. I was rewatching it last week and I love that movie. I love him in that movie. And he mentioned that. He said, who is Ken, when people were just heaping praise on his performance. And he's like, well, who is Ken without Barbie? He turned it right back on Margot Robbie. Yeah. And I was just like, look at this stand-up guy. Look at this stand-up dude. Yeah. That's the kind of guy. That's the kind of actor you want to act across. That's the type of guy you want as your scene partner. So those are my three, since Erin made me do it. Lars and the Real Girl, Blue Valentine, and Barbie.
Great choices.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would put all of those on a list as well. And I do want to say with the Blue Valentine, and I do want to reiterate again that really is the best script I've ever read. I read it to analyze for film class. It was the script there were some edits made along the way, but seriously, because sometimes reading a screenplay, it's very different than reading like a book. It can be a little bit like, I don't want to say boring, but it's not like, it's the blueprint. So it's not the finished product. So I can only imagine as actors getting that script and being like, holy crap, this is going to be so hard to do, but so amazing. But I agree. And that is a heartbreaking, heart-wrenching film. And that is another example, I think, of what I mean when I say Ryan Gosling is not afraid to get ugly. And I don't mean appearance. I mean, or just appearance. He is not afraid to be ugly. He's not necessarily a great person in that movie. He does some really horrible things. And so that's what I mean. Is like he's not afraid to look like a bad person, you know. And I mean in a role that's not necessarily on the surface supposed to be a bad guy, or could, you know, he could be like, I want to, you know, have people have more empathy for this character, but he's not afraid to go against that. So, yeah. Okay. Well, I am going to go with Drive as the first one, and these are in no particular order. Drive is one of the most uncomfortable viewing experiences I've ever had in my life. I have never been so terrified of Ryan Gosling in my life. He is so scary, and what makes him scary is his almost silence and his like ability to be so stone cold. There's a scene in there in the elevator, and if you've seen this movie, you know the scene I'm talking about. And it is one of the scariest scenes I've ever seen in a movie, and I've watched hundreds of horror films. And it was one of the first times where I've watched Ryan in a movie and been like, okay, I can't watch a movie with him in it for a little bit. Because it's that unsettling to me.
Yes.
And
yes.
it's so, the violence in it is so incredibly visceral and so violent. And I don't mean that as a bad thing, actually, because I think it should be that violent, where you're never once in that movie, at least I wasn't, feeling for his character. His character is completely cold, yet I don't know, there's like something about it. It's hard to describe, but it really is one of the best performances I've ever seen an actor give, but it's also one of the most unsettling films I've ever seen in my life. And it's one I can't like rewatch a ton. I can't rewatch it really. It's one that has stuck with me since the first time I saw it and made me feel so uncomfortable and made kind of the world look uncomfortable for a few minutes.
Yeah.
But it's a truly remarkable, outstanding performance from him.
It really is. Existential dread is what I feel watching that movie.
No, that's a great way to put it.
Literal dread. My heart is racing. My head is pounding. I'm sweaty. Like, it's just, So it feels like you're in that movie. Oh,
exactly.
Fabulous performance.
Yes.
Top 10.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. Yeah. And I'll also mention The Place Beyond the Pines, which was also, if you don't know, that's done by the same person who did Blue Valentine, and who also, and I haven't seen it, but it's actually supposed to be really good. The new Channing Tatum movie that was out, where he's playing the real life guy who like lived in a Toys R Us for a bit when he escaped prison.
Oh my gosh!
And that's by the same guy who did Blue Valentine and The Place Beyond the Pines, which is incredible to me. But that was a very different role from the role in Blue Valentine. And he's a little bit harder, but he's also kind of got this softness in him as well with that character. He looks amazing with so many tattoos. That's the shallow part of me. I'm a tattoo person. I'm a tattoo person. So
sexy.
Yeah. But I really like that movie anyway. I think that movie is underappreciated, and I think people should watch it. There are some other great performances in there too. I think pretty much everybody in that movie is really good, but I recommend that one. He is supposed to be, I think, on the surface, the person that people would be like more leery of, but he actually has some heart to him that gets discovered along the way. So I recommend that movie. And then lastly, I did want to end on one of his comedic roles, and I was divided between Barbie or this one. And so since you mentioned Barbie, I will mention The Nice Guys, because this movie is so underrated, and it makes me so sad that, you know, normally I'm like, oh, we don't need sequels. We needed a sequel to this one. I wanted more of this character.
Yes.
And they were going to do more of this, but it bombed at the box office. And so they decided not to. But he is so good at the physical comedy in this movie. He gets put through the ringer, but he's so, so good.
Yes.
And this is another one where he's not afraid to look like a fool and look like an idiot. But he's also such a loving dad at the same time.
Yes.
And some of his lines that are so ridiculous, but he delivers them so well. Like, I'm going to go interview the mermaid. And just like these things that are so ridiculous. but he delivers it so well.
Yes.
And the way he looks, his hair, his outfits, everything in this movie, it just works so well. And he has such great chemistry with Russell Crowe in this movie too. And Russell Crowe is more like the straight guy to him in a way. And I think they work really well together. I have very, very mixed feelings about Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
But Ryan Gosling made Russell Crowe palatable to me. And
Yes.
that is another feat in and of itself. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and I just wish we could have gotten more of that character because it was so much fun watching him do that. And it bums me out that people didn't go spend the money to watch that movie. It really bums me out because I wanted more.
That movie is so funny. Because he does, the poor thing. He's just, he's got black eyes and he's got bumps and problems.
I
This
know.
poor man is concussed. Somebody help him.
He's put through hell, man. He's put
He
through the
really
ringer.
is. He is. Such a great movie, though. Fabulous. Top 3. Fabulous. Fabulous.
Yeah, it's so good. And I almost think he brings some of that. It's a totally different character, but I think he brings some of that physicality to his role as Ken.
Yes.
So I think it kind of transfers over. But yeah, I really, Barbie will always remain one of those shockers where you hear about a Barbie movie being made and you're like, why are we doing this?
Yes. Yes. I think when we all heard it, we were like, what?
Yeah.
Like, how do you make a movie about Barbie? Like, I mean, seriously, Barbie,
Exactly.
Barbie. But I mean, surprisingly, I love that movie so much. I do. I love that movie so much.
Yeah.
Heartwarming and heart-wrenching at times. Just,
Yeah.
Greta Gerwig knew what she was doing, apparently.
Yes.
She really did.
Yep. And I want to just briefly say, when you were talking, Tiff, about how when Ryan Gosling was like on the press circuit or when people were talking, and he would always redirect to Margot Robbie. And I want to say, I think that's a thing about him is I don't think he really thinks he's as good as he is, or he doesn't want to sit there and like be like, I am the best. He has this way of doing that. I will never forget, there was an interview with him and Steve Carell when they were talking about The Big Short, and Christian Bale was there too. And it kind of reminds me, because Christian Bale does this too. Christian Bale, which people don't realize this, I realize it now with, we cover him every year, is very humble and doesn't even think he's that great. And there is this interview and they're talking with the three of them. And Christian Bale is very uncomfortable and embarrassed in that interview because all the other people are just raving about Bale. And and Ryan Gosling's doing the same thing. And it's just kind of this thing of like, I don't want to talk about my own performance, so I'm going to rave about somebody else's. But the reason I'm also bringing this up is, as everybody knows, the big, huge snafu of La La Land being red when it was Moonlight that won Best Picture. And one of the best, though, moments from that was watching Ryan Gosling's face on that stage when they said, no, this is an error. This is, it actually was Moonlight. And he doesn't look at all like pissed. He looks more like, well, of course it would be that. I mean, why would it be us? There's just something about the look on his face in that where it is so humble, where it's like, yeah, why are we up here? It should be Moonlight. It was just, I don't know. It's just a little brief it's been memed. It's been, I don't know. There's something about it that where he's, amused, but he's also like, there's no part of him that's pissed off, or using that opportunity to thank people when, you didn't win.
Right.
like the people did.
I know.
But yeah. Yes. We love Ryan Gosling, a lot of his roles, and we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we've said he's versatile. We've seen him in so many things, but I just want to know if there is a role that you want to see Ryan Gosling do. So when we come back, we're going to discuss that. Okay, so Tiff, we've said how versatile this man is, and he's been in so many things, but is there a role or like a dream project that you have for Ryan?
So I actually was thinking on it and thinking. And yes, there is a role. And I actually wanted them to, okay, so and I don't know how this movie kind of went under the radar too, but if it really fell under the radar. The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and that was with Henry Cavill, Army Hammer, and I have the same reaction to that. And my gosh, why did I just forget her name? I'm so sorry. I know your name, and it's gonna come to me.
Yeah,
Just
and
give
I
me
can look it
one
up, too.
second. Just give me 1
Oh,
second.
you're looking it up now. Okay.
Okay, thank you. I have it in my mind.
Well, there's Alicia Vikander,
That's it.
Elizabeth Debicki. Okay.
Yes. Yes, I love Elizabeth Debicki, but I was thinking about Alicia Vikander. So, yes, I would love to see, number one, I wanted a sequel to that because it ended not on a cliffhanger, but it definitely paved the way for a sequel to that. But now we know that one of those cast members who are not Alicia Vikander and who are not Henry Cavill should never be seen in public life again. Like, go away, sir. So I would love to see a reboot of it. Let's get an all new cast in there. Elizabeth Debicki, her character actually gets pew-pewed. Well, she gets blown up in that movie, so she wouldn't be back anyway. But I would love to see him play Henry Cavill's character, who is like the CIA agent, very smooth, very suave, but has those moments of comedic, just hilarity. Like he gets shot up with like a paralytic, and he's still so like just straight up like, so what do you think you're gonna do now? That sort of thing. And it's set in the 60s, and the clothing, and his name is Napoleon Solo. That's Henry Cavill's character. I know, Napoleon Solo.
The solo part combined with that's getting me.
I know. Absolutely ridiculous name. But I just think he would be so good in a role like that. It's Cold War politics. It's spycraft. If you've never seen The Man from U.N.C.L.E., it is a fantastic movie. Like a fantastic movie. And I know we don't like that guy whose name sounds like Arm and Hammer, but it is, I mean, it is an absolute outstanding movie. And if you watch it, just imagine, put Ryan Gosling's face into Henry Cavill's character, and I'm telling you, it would be. I haven't fan cast the other characters. I haven't done. Although I wouldn't mind seeing Hugh Grant could come back. He's the guy who runs the organization U.N.C.L.E., and I think that would be. I think he's great at that, and like he's basically their handler, and I think that could be a lot of fun. But I could see him just. I mean, think about like the slick 1960s kind of suits and like just like shark skin and wingtips, and him being, like the hair kind of slicked back and all that kind of stuff with the glasses. Oh man, he'd be so awesome. He would be so amazing in that.
I love that, and I love that image. And yes, and that's the thing, is there are so many movies that we love and so many things that we love that have awful people in them. It's kind of like I was seeing something recently where someone was saying, if you want to not consume products or not products, but not consume media that has awful people in it, you're not going to be able to consume much. I'm not saying we should support people that are awful. I'm just saying that, like, from, way back when, or even a few years ago, or,
Right.
it's just sadly
It's really
inevitable.
Hard. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But for me, and of course it's because it's me, he's never really done a straight up horror picture, really, like horror.
Yeah.
And I think, a while ago, years ago, Ethan Hawke did this interesting career move where he started doing horror movies on top of everything else he did. And I think it was one of the best things that Ethan Hawke ever did. I think Ethan Hawke is one of the best new additions to horror out there.
Mhm.
And I think Ryan Gosling could be another person that could do that very easily. Like, he could either play like the villain or the bad guy, but I would want to see him play a more complicated character, like the dad, or whose family goes to, like, even a haunted house, something like that. Or, very similar kind of to, not the same movie, but to Ethan Hawke's role in the movie Sinister, like something like that, where it is like this complicated father figure who is so obsessed with something, and his kind of neglecting his family because of that. And something sinister, no pun intended there, is out there lurking for him or for his family. So I want to see him in some kind of straight up horror movie. I just think that would be really interesting to watch him in that and to watch him in that genre, because I think he's been in so many genres out there. And so it's hard to be like, what has he not done? And he hasn't really done like too much in that kind of arena.
Right.
So I would love to see him do that. That's kind of my dream project for him.
What about him as a vampire?
I was thinking that too, Tiff. That's so funny because that was like, it was like the competing of like that or like a vampire. I'm not even kidding. Because I have this thing where I love blondes as vampires. And so
like him as, like Eric from True Blood.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, Alexander Skarsgård, he owns that role, but
absolutely,
still something like that would be great. I would love to see him play a vampire.
Yes, I mean, just like that snark, that sass, but has that undercurrent of danger all the time. Like I could feel like he's a Spike. Like he could be a Spike. He could definitely be a Spike for sure. Yeah, I love that idea. Yeah,
definitely.
Top notch. Yes. Horror.
Yeah, so if you're listening to this, Ryan.
Dream makers, we're making dreams come true.
Yes.
Missing Carla, but we're still making dreams come true.
Yes. But yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much, Tiff. This was so much fun to talk about Ryan Gosling and to kick off my birthday month this way. It was a blast. So thank you so much for joining me for this one.
Thank you for having me.
I know we just barely scratched the surface, but maybe someday we'll revisit or we'll just cover one of his movies or something. But if there is a Ryan Gosling performance or movie that you wish we had mentioned or talked about, or just one of your favorites, please let us know and maybe we'll give you a shout out someday. But we are going to switch to 6 Degrees of Finn Wittrock. Now, Finn Wittrock has been in 2 Ryan Gosling movies, La La Land and The Big Short. So my rule for this one is you can't use either of those. So you can't just say, well, they were in this movie together. You have to do it a different way. So Tiff, how did you connect them?
So I just watched this movie the other day. It made me incredibly uncomfortable. I did not like it at all. So the Ryan Thomas Gosling was in Only God Forgives.
I knew you were going to say that.
That's all I can say to that movie. With Kristen Scott Thomas, who in that movie, who was in Random Hearts, with Molly Price, who was one of my favorite characters in Third Watch. Underrated show. If you've never seen Third Watch, go watch that. Love that show. Except for the last season, you dropped the ball, NBC. Who was in American Crime Story with Mr. Finn Wittrock. And I had to go around the horn to try to avoid La La Land and The Big Short. And I dropped that in the Discord also about The Big Short because I had actually never seen it. So I just watched it yesterday. Very, very good. Very, very white.
Yeah. And the end of that movie is terrifying.
Yeah.
Because of, Christian Bale's character is now, investing in water. So it's like, that just is terrifying. And the fact that the government didn't even want to hear at all why he predicted this happening it's not shocking, but it's infuriating.
And the fact that he just writes that, you see that number when they pan across his whiteboard, he has 489% profitability in his hedge fund that he actually ends up closing. And then you see the posted $269 billion. Billion.
Yeah.
That doesn't compute. That doesn't compute. That movie is horrific.
Yeah.
Horrifying when you watch that. The fallout that. Whoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we covered.
Yeah. Very white though.
And we did cover that movie a few years back for Christian fucking Bale Month. And it has one of my favorite quote unquote Christian appearances where he He educates us on the economy. I don't know if you've watched that, Tiff. It's one of my favorite moments ever. It is hilarious. He uses mom bucks. He talks, it's really hilarious. And I highly recommend going and watching the video version of that episode on our YouTube channel so that you can see quote unquote Christian. Of course, it is the great Carla doing her Christian fucking Bale impression. And it is so hilarious when he's teaching us about the economy. It's one of my favorite moments ever from Christian Bale Month. So definitely go listen to that or watch that. Yeah.
Oh, and as I mentioned before, the Ryan Gosling should never have hair that color. Ever.
Yeah,
never.
That's true.
Do not
It's
do your
very
hair
weird.
that color anymore, sir. Or don't let them do that to you.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
even
very
like
weird.
blondes, but don't let them do that to you.
I know he's kind of meant to be a blonde. It's kind of
He really is.
Yeah.
I feel like he's he's like a Paul Walker. You remember Paul Walker?
Yeah.
R.I.P. Paul Walker. Yeah. It's same thing. Like he could never have dark hair. Never. You're
That's
always
true.
meant to be blonde. Sorry.
No, I agree. I agree. Okay, so I did Ryan was in Murder by Numbers with Sandra Bullock, who was in Gravity with George Clooney, who was, of course, in ER, and Finn was in an episode of ER. So that's how I connected Finn.
Nice. I'm pretty sure I was not watching ER at that time anymore. But but the Clooney days of ER, top notch. Top tier.
I agree. That was really, I mean, I've been a fan of George Clooney since the Facts of Life days. That's how long I've been a fan of his. But and it was interesting because, of course, also George Clooney, which I could have used this too. George Clooney and Ryan Gosling, of course, were in a movie together, Ides of March, which was directed by George Clooney.
Yeah.
Which I rewatched again. And I hadn't watched it since it was out in the theaters. And that's just an infuriating movie because politics.
Yes.
It's so infuriating.
Good performances, though.
Yes.
Like, really strong performances. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely good. But
there's a scene between George Clooney and Ryan Gosling in the back of a kitchen, like in a kitchen of a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my gosh, that scene is so good. That scene is so good.
Perfect scene in a very, very good movie. That is a perfect scene. And you don't see too many of those. But that riff between, ooh.
It's really well done.
It's really good. I saw that in the theater too.
Yeah.
I did. I saw that in the theater too. This was pre-friendship, people.
It was pre-friendship.
Pre-friendship.
Yes, because of course, I mean, it's George Clooney and he's directing the movie, and then it also has Ryan Gosling. Of course, I'm going to be seeing that in the theater.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, I was doing the same thing.
And George Clooney has a movie coming out soon that hopefully will be good. The Jay Kelly movie. Mm-hmm. I've heard that the standout in that movie is actually Adam Sandler, which doesn't surprise me because I don't like Adam Sandler's comedy. I can't do it. He's like nails on a chalkboard. But he's really good at dramatic roles. He was really good in Uncut Gems, one of the most uncomfortable movie experiences ever. Yes. Did you watch Uncut Gems?
I did. And as you said, very uncomfortable. Just like, what is this?
That was a lot.
But he's very good.
Yeah.
He's very good in it. Yeah, you're right. His comedy is but when he gets to the dramatic, I mean, and even like dramedy, he's rock solid. I'm like, dude, you should have been doing this forever. He's a good actor, like when he wants to be. But I mean, his slapstick and stuff pays the bills. So I guess.
Yeah. I mean, like, I love him because it's a rom-com, but I love him in The Wedding Singer, which is one of our most popular episodes we've ever done. And I remember when I first watched that, and I've shared this before, but I first watched that and I was like, oh, maybe I don't hate Adam Sandler. And I watched some of his comedies. I'm like, no, I do hate Adam Sandler. It's just this role that I like him in. He was also good in Punch Drunk Love, the Paul Thomas Anderson movie.
I love him in 50 First Dates too.
Yeah, I love him in that.
I love him in 50 First Dates. Yeah.
Creepiest concept in the world.
But I watched, I'm kind of like, Carla turned me on to cinema therapy, and they did a breakdown of it, and go on their YouTube page to watch it. And it's not as creepy as you think, though, when they do the breakdown of how he lets her, like he lets her do the work in terms of meeting her where she is, because of her brain injury. So it's not as creepy as we think yes, the concept sounds very, very creepy, but in the context of how they act it and how he reacts to her, it's not as creepy.
Okay.
So yeah, just take a look at their episode on it, and it's a really good episode. That's like one of my favorites of theirs. So
okay, I'll have to do that then. Yeah. And Paul Thomas Anderson might actually be winning, probably will be winning an Oscar this year. So for probably either script or probably script and probably director too, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, that's our Oscar episode. That's a ways away.
You're like, you're like, yes, I can see you. I can see you doing the equations on the chalkboard.
I know. And that movie, One Battle After Another, will be coming up, I'm sure, when we do our countdown of our top 10 by probably both me and Carla will be mentioning it. I don't know if the other people that'll be on there that are on that annual episode have seen it, but yeah. Anyway, sorry, that's totally not.
No. I have to actually. I haven't seen it yet, so I need to put that on the list.
Yeah.
So,
and I know it's intimidating, 2 hours and 45 minutes, but the editing in that movie, if that movie doesn't win editing, it's incredible because it feels like it's under 2 hours long, and it's a 2 hour and 45-minute movie. So the editing is fantastic. I cannot get over how well that movie was edited, because seriously, it's like,
you were talking to the person who has the director's cuts of the Lord of the
That's true. That's true.
Blu-ray.
That's true.
And I've watched them back to back to back. And those are 4-hour movies.
That's true.
So
that's true.
2 hours and 45 minutes.
Nothing.
No problem. I can do that standing on my head.
Yeah, and my favorite movie, my absolute number one favorite movie is Magnolia, and also by Paul Thomas Anderson, and that's 3 hours long. So it's like,
yeah, I was about to say, I was like, that's a long one. So I think we're okay.
We're okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
right. It's just like, don't hydrate too much.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you're at home, it's fine.
Yes, that's true. Although it's gorgeous on screen, so on a big screen.
Yeah,
but
that's the difference with that for sure.
Yeah. But anyway, all of that will be coming up again, I'm sure, soon, and I'm sure Ryan Gosling will come up again on this podcast at some point. Of course, we're going to go ahead and close out this episode. And Tiff, let everybody know where they can find you.
So you can find me across the socials at Who Is Tiff Is Me. I am normally, though, can be found in the Discord channel. So come and join us. We talk about film and television and pets and all sorts of good stuff like that. So yeah, come on in. As Erin always says, it's a safe space. It's a lot of fun. There's some good Halloween picks from yesterday. So come and see some creativity from Erin and from Sarah. Hers was really good. I loved her yard. So go on in and chat it up with us, because there's so many cool people. So come say hi.
Yes, please do, because it is a safe space, and I will make sure it is. So if anyone that's not safe is in there, they'll be booted immediately.
Yes.
So yes. Well, Fergie, the horror-loving dog, is very sad that Halloween, we're recording this on November 1st, is over, that month is over. But I always watch horror movies, so, she can still see that. And Abbott Elementary is back, and that's her comedy show that she loves. And she also loves true crime, and she's just a funny dog. You can follow her on TikTok at Schroeder and Fergs. That's SCHROEDERANDFERGS. It's long, but it's worth it. To find links to all our past episodes, including that episode covering The Big Short that we mentioned, head on over to our website. It's a fandomthingpod.com. And while you're there, consider becoming a Patreon supporter today. For as little as $3 a month, you get ad-free content. You get early access to episodes. Like, we just recently dropped an episode that will be dropping for everybody later this month, but it is covering the ship that I drug Carla on, and she has boarded it. She, of course, was like, you didn't really drag me that hard on it, but
you're the captain and she's the first mate.
Exactly. Yes. For Sid and Carmi, or Sid Carmi from The Bear, the show that owns me, completely and totally owns me. So you can listen to that soon this month. But if you want to listen to it now, become a Patreon supporter today. You also occasionally win prizes. You get bonus episodes. I'm going to put up a poll that we're going to do a bonus episode on either a Ryan Gosling movie or a Colin Farrell movie. So I'm going to put that poll up for my Patreon subscribers to decide on that. So click either the supporters tab on our website, it's a fandomthingpod.com, or the link in the show notes and become a Patreon supporter today. And next week, we are continuing my birthday month celebration with a look at my future hubby, Colin Farrell, and Erin A., who is going to be my maid of honor. I was like, whoever signs up to be on this with me will be my maid of honor.
Look, as long as I can be a bridesmaid, I'm good.
But in all seriousness, I do think Colin Farrell is one of the best actors of his generation as well. So I'm very excited to talk about that because I think he is also, like Ryan Gosling, an actor that is not afraid to look ugly. He isn't just there to play up his looks, and I will always appreciate that about him. So I'm excited to cover him. And then the week after that, Tiff will be back to discuss, yes, I know this may shock everybody that we're discussing this movie, but this movie owned me. It seriously did. I was obsessed with this movie, and that is the movie Babe. Yes, the one, That'll Do, Pig. Yes, that Babe.
That'll Do. Not John Goodman's Babe.
But the one about the pig.
The one about the pig.
And Farmer Hoggett and all of that. So it was nominated for Best Picture, So we are going to be talking about that 1995, oh my God, movie. And then we're going to wrap it up with Carla and I are going to be talking about one of my all-time favorite books from my favorite author, Dean Koontz, and that is the book Odd Thomas. So if you want to, now is your chance. Go listen to the audiobook, read the book. It's a fantastic, fantastic book. You can watch the movie if you want to. I love Anton Yelchin. I think he was the perfect casting choice to play Odd Thomas, but the movie itself it misses some stuff. In my opinion, it misses the boat. It should have been turned into a TV series. Anyway, so that'll be coming up. And then, like I said, towards the end of the month, we'll be dropping another special episode talking about Sid and Carmi from The Bear. So until next time, remember, it's a fandom thing. Black Lives Matter, stop Asian hate, and free Palestine.